Oh, and I always have to click the box. That's right.
The box on.
The box comes up on my screen and says we're being recorded. All right, everybody, welcome back to another wonderful class of Breathe Right. I'm so happy to see familiar faces and new faces because that just makes the group more and more fun. So to start off with, I just want to remind you after a long summer of our breathing pattern. So our belly breathing. So just go ahead and place your hands on your belly. Keep your elbows a little bit tucked into your sides. We're going to breathe in and pull the hands apart. And then breathing out through pursed lips. So breathing out through an invisible straw as you bring those hands back in. So breathe in, pull those hands apart. Breathe out through pursed lips as you bring those hands back in. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Once more like this, in, out. Now, as best as you can, maintain that pattern. And we're going to start making figure eights with our hands. So adding into the coordination challenge, starting to get a little bit more movement, we're still breathing out through pursed lips as best you can. Brilliant. Now, as we just start to get moving, if at any point you feel lightheaded, out of breath, shaky, dizzy, just stop for a moment and really focus on that breathing pattern and keep moving. And just a reminder that your recovery position is you can just lean over top of your thighs, either on your hands or on your forearms, or same thing on your table or chair. But if you do get into that recovery position, keep your head and chest up, and that will help open up your airways. All right, so switch directions of that figure eight. That's where we usually get a little bit more of a challenge there. And as we move our hands, we're gonna start getting our feet and legs involved. So you can just start lifting up one heel at a time. And if the coordination for one heel at a time is a little bit too challenging, feel free to get both heels up and down, up and down. There we go. So there's a lot in this class where you take charge of your workout today. Make sure it's challenging yet doable. And the doable piece is super important because that means you're going to have more fun. All right, changing up the pattern here. We're now going to step 1 foot forward, touching the heel, toes up, and bring it back. Touch your heel forward and bring it back. Touch your heel forward, bring it back. I call this exercise the clean floor test. So judging on the bottom of your foot or shoe, you can see how clean are your floors really. All right, adding into the challenge, because we don't just work our bodies here, we also get our brains working. As you step 1 foot forward, your opposite hand is going to reach up and then bring both down. So 1 foot touches forward, the other hand reaches up, and then both come back. Step and reach, and back. Step and reach, and back. Now for those, as a reminder, for returning faces and as a learning piece for new faces, here's your reminder that there's a couple different ways to increase or decrease intensity of a movement. So how difficult is it to do? How challenging is it for your breathing? One of the ways is how quickly you move. So if I were to go a little bit faster, my body's now working harder. That's going to be more challenging on the breathing. versus if I slow it down. The more body parts moving, the more oxygen is needed to move those body parts. So if moving an arm and a leg, if you're feeling a bit puffed today, you might want to move just one arm at a time or just one leg at a time. And you could always switch back and forth. Excellent. All right, now we're going to switch to pointing our toes down. So stretch out with your toes and then bring them back. Stretch out with your toes and then bring them back. For those of you with any sort of lower back pain, you want to make sure you're not reaching and letting your hips move, because that can increase the chance of your back getting a bit sore. So if you focus on just the leg doing the movement, think about keeping your torso, your core nice and stable. That will help. And as we stretch our toes out, the opposite hand is going to reach out to the side and back. So we're going in for that side hug. Excellent. Again, the goal here is to keep your torso stable, so nice and still as your limbs move. And we are still maintaining that breathing pattern. So I know at least a few of you have lost track of it because I keep giving you all these other things to think about. But let's check back in, breathing out through pursed lips as best you can. Good. And switching the pattern. Brilliant. All right, team, let's just do a little bit of a light seated march. And remember, as you start working harder and harder, it might feel challenging to maintain your breathing pattern. Your pursed lip breathing doesn't mean it has to be slow. It just means you're using your exhale to push that excess air that no longer has oxygen in it out of your lungs, so there's room for more oxygen-filled air to come in. So even if you're panting a little bit, your breathing pattern can sound more like, but I'm still exhaling through pursed lips. Oh, is somebody screen sharing? There we go. Perfect. All right. Now, as we go 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3. And actually, as that foot steps forward and comes back, that foot's going to have to now start the 1, 2, 3, so that now our other foot can step forward and back. And then it starts 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. Good. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. Good. And if it's helpful for you to count out loud, please feel free to do so. I just ask that you briefly turn on your mute. Perfect. There we go. We've got our 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. And we're still staying nice and tall. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. Excellent job, everybody. Are we feeling like we had a little bit of a break from our classes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And rest. There we go. Well done. Okay, team. So now what we're going to do, and for the next part, you can do this seated or standing. So standing up is going to require more balance, and it's also going to require more oxygen because you're working a little bit harder. So you need to decide, is it better for you to stay seated or is it better for you to stand? Okay, and that is your decision. What we're going to do now is get a little bit of cross patterning. We're going to touch knee to opposite hand. Knee to opposite hand. And again, the higher up you lift that knee, the harder it is. Just make sure it's not getting sore. Because again, first class back for some of you after 2 months of not having class. Some of these movements can be quite challenging to do. Certain muscles can get sore, and that's okay. We just have to manage it. And I, of course, didn't want to even imply that you weren't exercising because we had that big talk about your activity plan and what some things you could do were. So I have a good, strong amount of trust that lots of you kept active over the summer break.
I hate to wreck your trust, but I didn't.
Me neither.
Barry. Oh. It was a blanket statement. That's why I didn't name names. There, and rest there. Brilliant, brilliant job. Now, if everyone's feeling warmer than when we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where everyone goes, yes. Whew. So now we're going to start getting into some cardio intervals. And the difference between what we just did and our cardio intervals is I want you, if you can, to work just a little bit harder. So we're going to go for a minute, and then we're going to have 30 seconds of rest. More than once. All right. So yep, we're coming back with a vengeance. So our first cardio exercise, team, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to repeat our marching. But again, this time I want you pushing yourselves. It's only for a minute. You should be getting a little bit out of breath. It should be a little bit harder to breathe than it has been so far. And again, unless you are feeling like you cannot catch your breath, you feel dizzy or shaky, those are all signs to just stop, do your recovery breathing, go into that recovery position. Okay? 1 minute on the clock in 3, 2, and go. So we're marching. Now, once again, I already talked about the more body parts that are moving, the harder it is. So if you're already feeling pretty puffed or low energy today, feel free to just get your arms moving or just your legs or alternate. This is your workout. You gotta choose what is challenging yet doable for you. Again, breathe out through pursed lips. We are halfway through our first interval. Woo!
Woo!
Great job, team. Keep up that pursed lip breathing. Got about 10 seconds left. You should be feeling ready to have a break soon. 3, 2, and rest. So again, when we are resting, if you're someone who likes to keep moving because that's what your body needs, please feel free. Some of you are going to need to stay still and just focus on your breathing. Some of you are going to need to go into your recovery position to catch your breath. And again, head and chest are up in that recovery position because rounding does not open up your airways. Chest up does. Okay. All right. I talked long enough. We're getting our feet going out. Oops. Make sure your weights aren't right beside you. We're going out, out, in, out, out, in, in. 1 minute on the clock. Let's go. Out, out, in, out, in. Again, you're doing this seated or standing. If you want to do it standing but need some extra balance support, have one or both hands just on the back of your chair as you go. You are welcome to keep your arms moving, but we're going to focus on the legs this interval and the arms next interval. All right, how quickly can you get your feet moving? Come on, team. Remember, they don't have to be big steps. They can be little steps, especially if you've got a sore lower back. So just keep the feet closer together. You don't have to lift them up very high, but feel the difference that makes. It's still hard work. Just tends not to pull on the back. Breathing out through pursed lips. And rest. Excellent job, team. Maintain that breathing pattern. Let everything get recovered. Think about how you're feeling. Ask yourself, was I desperate for that break? Did I really need it? Okay, maybe you're pushing a little bit too hard. And if you kind of felt, oh, I could have kept going, maybe you need to push yourself a little bit harder. You guys are going, no, we don't. All right. Once again, keeping it simple, more simple for our first session back. We're gonna get into our shadow boxing. So that's where super, super fun. You get to punch your arms out in front of you. You are welcome to do more of a speed bag. I've got some people in my classes that just love those uppercuts. You decide what's best for you. 1 minute and go. So standing or sitting, the faster you go, the more cardio it is. And remember, if you punch with purpose, you're going to be working harder than just moving your arms out in front of you, okay? Maintain that breathing. Good job, team. Keep breathing out through pursed lips. And keep punching. You are almost there. Last couple of seconds here. 3, 2, and rest. Brilliant, brilliant job, team. Again, keep up that breathing pattern. Breathe out through pursed lips to catch your air back. Or you can always just reach out and grab it. That was for Barry. Bad jokes are his specialty.
Oh, no.
Did you move, Jill?
I did.
So
Yeah,
no
all
more,
set up in the new basement suite. It's awesome.
no more gym noise.
In the gym, yep, I'm still working out of the gym. We'll be there on Thursday.
I see. Okay.
You bet.
One a note of caution: your dog with the floors, the hardwood floors, it's very slippery for him, eh?
Oh yeah, he's not allowed. Well, we don't encourage him to run around indoors. We've got a nice yard access, which is perfect. Yeah, we don't let him play fetch or anything in the house because you're absolutely right. Not good for their developing joints.
I knew somebody had a gold lab and they jumped off a couch just like yours onto the floor and hips were gone.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how my old dog tore a ligament in his wrist. He jumped onto a frozen pond and same thing, slippery. Not good at all. Okay, team, what you're doing now is you're just gonna put your feet a little bit more in front of you. So they're not fully straight, but they're in front of you. And you're gonna pull back 1 foot at a time. Okay, and if you are standing, then you're just gonna pull a foot up towards your bum. Okay, Once again, you can hold on to your chair for balance, and we're gonna push our hands out at the same time. Now we've had a nice long rest, so work hard and go. Push your arms out and pull your foot back. And the reason why you start with your feet more in front of you than before is because some of you have had what's called, well, you know, it's called a Baker's cyst, where some of your knees don't like to be super bent. So rather than starting lower and trying to get way back, we start out a little bit further. So we're not stressing out the knee, but we still get some of those benefits of moving it back. There we go, team. So just push those hands out in front of you as you bring your foot back a little ways. And maintain that breathing pattern. Here we go, team. And rest. Again, focus on your recovery breathing. Get that heart rate back down, your breathing rate back down. And we're going to do one more interval. And then we'll move on from cardio into a little bit more. We got some balance to do today, and we've got some strength to do today, which some of you will be very, very excited for.
Yes.
Including me. I'm very excited too. All right. Last cardio interval, and it's a little bit of strength too. We're going to finish off with a minute of sit to stands. So again, we're going from a seated position to standing up and sitting back down. Make sure you're under control. Now, for those of you that are not going to be standing up, what I want you to do instead, because this is more cardio based, I would like you to do your marching instead. Okay, and really think about pushing down into the ground this time, so you can get into some stomps. Feel free to put a pillow underneath your feet to stomp down onto the pillow. We're starting in 3, 2, and go. So remember, we're doing a sit to stand with control. These are very strenuous exercise for a lot of us. So you don't feel like you need to do them quickly. We're just trying to do as many as you can in a row consistently within that minute time. Great job, everybody. Now, we haven't talked about the walnut yet this class, but just a reminder, this is one of those exercises where we want our glutes to be supporting us. So pretend you've got a walnut between your bum cheeks and you're trying to crush it as you stand up. Boy, does that sound silly, but it is a great visual for getting your glutes to work. And that was past a minute. Rest. You bought new ones. Well done.
Just figured I'd let you know I'm ready.
Perfect. So now's a great time to get a sip of water. Get into your recovery breathing. If you feel like you need just a little bit of movement instead of full rest, feel free just to keep lifting one heel at a time. And I just remember, team, as we catch our breath, when we do seated exercise, your hips can get pretty tight and a little bit and quite tired because those hip flexor muscles are doing a lot of work to support you in that seated position. So two key things there. One is if you've got a rolling pin at home, after class, make sure you are rolling out your thigh, and that's going to help loosen off this muscle. Just don't go beyond the top of the knee. You do not want to roll on or over your kneecap. So stick just to the thigh. And the other thing you can do to prevent pain or soreness in your hips is if you just grab a pillow and you sit on one or two pillows, it'll raise you up a little bit and take some of that pressure off your hips. Okay. All right. If you are going to be standing for balance, do so now, and I'll show you what you can do if you're going to stay seated. So if you are standing, you're just going to stand beside or behind your chair so that you've got some balance support. And all we're going to do together, gang, is we're going to lift up our knee and we're going to hold for 10 seconds. And then we're going to step our feet out and then we're going to change feet. Okay. If you're going to stay seated, no problem at all. Sit at the edge of your seat. I want your arms here if you can, and you're going to lift up one knee and think about not trying to let anything else move. Just stay really strong in this position. Now, remember, every time you lift up a leg, can you press into the ground with the other leg? So this leg raises up, this leg is pushing down into the ground to help me stay stable. All right. Ready, and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and down. And switch legs. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember to step your feet in between. Other leg up. Remember, you are seated or standing. Even if you start standing and then need to sit, just do what is challenging yet doable for you and your body. 7, 8, 9, and realistically that was about 20. Switch and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step, last one, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Step it out. Well done, team. You can sit down. Once again, watch wherever your weight is. I really should have put it underneath my chair so it was out of the way, but that's okay. Awesome. Again, make sure you're grabbing sips of water throughout the class. And you can go ahead and grab your stretchy band. If you do not have a stretchy band, no worries. I'll show you what to do with the weight instead. All right. Taking the band. Now put the band around we're going to put it around 1 foot. So around the bottom of 1 foot, whatever foot it's around, my toes are up so you can see the underside of my band. And all we're going to do is we're going to pull our arms back and then bring our hands back towards our foot. So pull and back. Pull and back. So nice and slow. Again, pull those elbows back, chest up tall. You should think about squeezing your shoulder blades together and back in. Now, today I'm a bit of a lesson to you all about band safety. I'm a little bit worried about the band I'm using because it got left in direct sunlight, which tends to wear down the rubber. And there's I can see it's not strong. So my band might snap on me today. And I think that would be a great lesson for you all to learn without anything happening to you. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mine got white spots or white marks all over it.
Is that the same thing?
Is it white or is it faded spots?
Well, faded white. It looks like it was someone hit it with some chalk or something like that.
If you can brush it off, it's not a concern. If it's part of the rubber and it's a little bit faded, that is a concern. That's a point of weakness in the rubber.
Okay.
And when there's a point of weakness, and rest there and everyone actually just bring their band up, you can check for those points of weakness. And it's a good thing to do regularly because that's where the band could snap on you. If you just look it over, see if you can see any holes or anything on the rubber. If you gently pull it,
I don't know if
sometimes
you
you'll
can
see.
that, Jill. Can you see that?
No, I can't, sorry. But again, if you can brush it off, like, can you wipe it? And
No.
yeah, then it might be a point of weakness, might be time to get a new one.
Well,
If you're
actually,
if you're using it regularly, it's good to get a new band about every year or two.
Well, I just used it last session, so.
Okay. Well,
So yeah, we'll see.
you can just gently pull it and see if it's, again, that really faded line or circle. Okay. But now, guys, we're going to take the band. You're going to hold it in front of you. And we're going to pull one arm at a time. So one arm is going to stay still. The other is going to pull out to the side. Now, if you've got a sore neck or shoulders, you can hold the band lower. And again, you are in charge of the intensity. If it feels like, oh, you're straining and it hurts the shoulder, have more slack, pull just a little ways to where it doesn't hurt. And you can hold it for a little bit longer and then come back in. So there's different ways to do an exercise. Pull, back, and switch. 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 Pull, back, switch. Pull, back, and switch. Pull, back, and switch. Pull, back, switch once more per side. And last one, pull, back, and rest. You can roll out those shoulders. That always makes them work pretty hard. And now we're going to take the band. You are going to move it around your back. And you're going to push your arms out in front of you and then bring them back in. If you've only got a weight, grab the weight. I would encourage you to lean back in your chair this to where it's comfortable for you. I don't want any soreness or pain in your lower back. And you can just push the weight up and down. Okay, so let's go. So you can push either the band or the weight and down. Now, the reason I've got you changing positions if you've got a weight and not a stretchy band is just due to in the line of resistance, it's called, of the weight. If you're pulling a band, you're pushing against the resistance, versus if I were to hold my weight straight out in front of me, I'm actually just resisting the weight from moving down. So by leaning back, I get more of that pushing against the weight. Remember, our movement is slow and controlled, so push 2, 3, bring it back 2, 3. Push 2, 3, back 2, 3. Another way to make this exercise more challenging at home is you can do push-ups against the wall, and the lower down you go in your push-ups. So from the wall to a table to the chair, the harder that push-up is. Great job, team. Push your arms out, back in, and one more. And rest. Grab a sip of water. All right, we're going to repeat the last 4 exercises, starting with our balance. Oh no. So once again, for safety, I'm just going to put my weight underneath my chair so it's out of the way. Can't step on it. If you are, stay seated if you are not doing anything standing today. Otherwise, I'm going to stand at my chair and I'm going to lift up one foot, lifting up my right leg and pressing down into the ground with that left leg. So hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch once more per leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. Once again, we've got that resistance band around your foot and we're gonna pull. Now, I just realized actually the first round, I didn't show you what to do if you don't have a stretchy band. So if you've got just a weight, feel free to start, gang. Then I want you just to lean over top of your thigh slightly, and you're just gonna pull that weight up, hold, and down. So up, hold, and down. Up, hold, and down. So you got those two options. Different ways you can work a muscle depending on what equipment you have. That's the beautiful thing about both a group class from home and just exercise in general. There's always something we can switch up depending on what you have or what your body needs. So just make sure you communicate that with me, right? If during an exercise, your back is sore or your knees or your shoulder, because if I know, then I can help. Good. And if you're using a weight on just one side, switch sides now and keep going. If you're using that band, you keep going. You might have noticed you get double duty if you're using a band, so that's super fun. Good. Maintain your breathing pattern, everybody. It is helpful to breathe out as you exert. So the exertion here is when you pull that weight up. Good. Last few here. 2 more. Pull. Remember, squeeze those shoulder blades together and rest. Now, the second one, if you have your band, is we're pulling that one arm apart. And now, once again, I was negligent. If you don't have a band at home, you could have been doing the same movement without any weight. Or once again, you can bend over slightly and you can lift the weight out to the side. And you can work the same muscle groups. Okay, otherwise with the band, right, we're here. So pulling one arm out to the side, other arm stays still. And if you've got the band, you can be alternating hands. Good, maintain your breathing pattern. And if you're using the weight just on one side, now's your chance to switch sides, switch arms. And again, if neck and shoulders are sore, just hold it lower. Lots of ways you can adapt an exercise. And rest. Again, you can roll those shoulders back. And the last one we've got is either leaning back, holding that weight, or get that band around your back. And we're just pushing our hands out in front of us and slowly bring it back. So push those arms out. Slowly bring it back. Push those arms out. Slowly bring it back. Push your arms out. Slowly bring it back. Good work. And again, the exertion here is pushing your hands away from your body. So it can be helpful to breathe out as you do that. And we're just going to do 3 more. Push, back slow, push, back slow, and push. Back slow. Excellent job. Put that band to the side. Shake out those arms and legs. Roll the shoulders back. It is time to stretch. And that's usually where I get a lot of cheering happening.
Yippee.
Woohoo!
I'm too tired to cheer.
That would explain it. All right. All right, team. You're going to stretch one arm down towards the floor. And then if you can reach up overhead, your other arm is going to stretch away. So stretch those 2 arms away from each other. And breathe.
Find me in school. Will I leave the room?
Pardon?
Can I leave the room? It reminds me of school.
Oh, raise your hand. Yeah, any questions? Oh, all of you?
Who knows the answer? I do.
Switch. So stretching time, gang.
Pick me, pick me.
Yeah. Stretch time is a great time to ask questions, make comments as we just cool down from the class.
Cecilia, you have the hand emoji up. Did you have a question for Jill?
And sometimes that happens just from us lifting up our hand. So sometimes it's accidental, sometimes it's purposeful. Stretch one leg out in front of you, team. Reach down towards your foot. But if any of you do have questions, now is an awesome time to ask. I love hearing your questions. I love answering your questions.
I'd love to know how many faithfully exercised in the 2 months that you were off.
Oh,
Wah.
Say faithfully.
You know, I've had quite a few people join my private afternoon classes.
Well, this is my first time and it sure is excellent. What a workout.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Great
Wow.
job getting yourself here today.
Wow. Yes, it was.
And is that Nelson?
No, it's Whiteman. Whiteman.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
Nelson
I've-
here. Nelson here, first time. Great workout. I didn't realize I was out of shape so badly.
Yeah, it's challenging. Switch legs, everybody. Yeah, and that's how you know you were doing a really great job and really focusing hard on what you were doing, is when it feels like it was harder to do than it should have. So great focus. That's awesome. You're going to get more benefit out of it.
Well, I found from not doing it that the muscles in my legs became very weak.
For sure. After 2 months, that does happen. The good news is when you regularly exercise and then take a break, when you come back to it, you usually regain back to your previous level a little bit quicker than it took you to get there.
Oh,
Does that
that's
make
good
sense?
news. Yeah.
Mhm.
Muscle has memory.
Yep, and you already worked hard to get there. It's still hard work to get back, but yeah, your body remembers for sure. And hello.
How do you, is there any exercises, memory exercises to get coordination better?
That one takes just overall practice. So, and I add in coordination to all of our warm-ups every class, and just practicing on your own helps,
Thank you.
of course. So anytime you can get either your arm and your leg doing something together or something different, that's working on coordination. Anytime you move in a different way, that's working on coordination. So even practice, along, if you've got a counter in your kitchen, so you have it for balance, you can practice walking forwards and backwards. That helps with balance and coordination. Switch arms. And even everything we were doing today with stepping our feet out and in, and arm and leg reaching out together, that's all good practice for coordination too.
Is Thursday's thing that's pretty well the same exercises?
No, we switch it up
Oh, do
pretty
you? Okay. all right,
regularly.
Good.
Yeah, so no thinking you can miss class because you already did it.
This has been very good.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you for coming on today.
And will these classes be online like before, like once you finish?
Yes, all of these classes get recorded and then posted online, I think within a week or two of having. So yes, this class that just happened will be accessible, as well as all the other classes we've had in the last year. Rest there. Now I just want you to bring one leg underneath you. You can turn sideways in your chair as well to bring that leg back. And we're just looking at that bit of a stretch down the front of our hip. There we go. You can feel it a little bit of a deeper stretch if you turn away. I just want to make sure I'm looking at all of you.
Where do you
All of
find
the
the
exercise-
classes?
All of the exercises are available online at noexcusenottoexercise.com.
There we go. There we go. Switch sides. There was another question. Can you please repeat that one for me?
Where do you find the past classes?
Right. So our video library, if you just go on YouTube, type in BC Lung Foundation, and then our YouTube channel will come up, and there's a playlist of all of Jill's classes. So even the classes that she led last season, they're all up on there as well. So this class today is going to go up within the next 2 days, should be up on our YouTube channel. And we can
Thank
keep
you.
updated. Yeah, of course.
What's the link again? Is it BC, did you say?
Yeah, BC Lung Foundation. So just go to
Okay.
YouTube,
Yep.
check out YouTube,
Yep.
type in BC Lung Foundation, and our YouTube channel will come up.
Thanks.
And face forward team. Now we always finish off with a breathing exercise to a count. And now whatever count I say, it's okay if you can't get that far, if you count less or more. You have to do what your capacity is. But for today, let's aim to breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 3 seconds. Okay, so feel free just to keep a hand on your belly, but we're going to inhale. So breathe in, 2, 3, breathe out through pursed lips, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. And shake it out, everybody. Pat yourself on the back. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Jill.
Thanks,
Glad
Joe.
to be
And I
back,
will
Joe.